My other question is on the EFF. You have repeated that it is a cult. You even made an example on another platform that what used to happen, which many would have seen, is that at press conferences, it would be only the leader that would speak and the other leaders, the top leadership, would not get an opportunity to speak. Now, given that you hold such strong views about the economic freedom fighters, are you now not perhaps almost giving credence to at least some of what Malema has stated, that there was never a genuine call when Mkhonto we Sizwe Party wanted progressive forces to unite, because you now felt or held or harbored these views that that was a cult? Why then would there have been a call by Mkhonto we Sizwe or yourselves to say we want to unite all progressive parties, we believe that we all can wage some sort of a strong war against perhaps the ANC or the Democratic Alliance? So right now, are you not proving them right, that you held these ill feelings towards them? Why would you have wanted to unite with a cult to say progressive forces must come together?
No, look, I still uphold deeply a conviction that all progressive forces and black political parties should unite to pursue a common agenda, because
including a cult.
The aspirations. Look, cult is an individual at the top there, but the membership of MK, the membership of ANC, the membership of EFF, the membership of ATM hold the same aspirations. What then becomes a difficulty is the individual leaders.
So you would have isolated him, meaning he would have said he was right.
When we talk about unification of progressive forces, we're talking about organizational unification of aspirations as to how do we commonly pursue the same agenda, because we represent the same constituencies. If Africa Maibuya becomes a political party, it will fervently and relentlessly pursue the unification of all progressive forces if there's no decisive majority given to Africa Maibuya as a political party. That is the agenda which will dearly and consistently protect and uphold and promote amongst all the progressive forces, because that is what we should. We should not be in a position as black progressive forces.
So that is the problem there with Floyd Shivambu, you know. Right now, he is now saying the problem at EFF is actually at the very top. Initially, in another interview, he had described the entire EFF, you know, as a cult, the entire thing. But right now, it's saying, no, it's just the leader at the very top. So you can see that Floyd Shivambu actually specifically has a problem with Malema, not the EFF itself. And to see that he actually revealed it himself and said that when I was still at the EFF, Julius Malema was the only one who spoke, you know, at public appearances, at interviews. Floyd Shivambu didn't just end there. He also went on to reveal that even if when I had, you know, better explanations at press briefings, Malema would insist on being the only one to speak, even on issues that he didn't fully grasp. So that statement in itself, you know, it tells us that Floyd Shivambu is a problem with Malema, but not the EFF. But obviously, Malema himself, you know, he also has a problem with that, you know. He should obviously let others to speak. He never gives others a chance, you know. So looking at Floyd Shivambu now, with this claim that he is making, he is touching, you know, on key tensional issues at the EFF, that is loyalty versus competence. Shivambu is saying I had better explanations, and obviously as the think tank of the EFF, he had the right to feel that way, because he's the one who was drafting everything, and Malema would just come up and speak whatever it would have been thought by Floyd Shivambu. So he's just seeing Julius Malema as someone who was just grabbing the spotlight, somebody who was riding off the top of his back without giving credit back to him. So that's the problem that happens. And Floyd Shivambu, looking at it now, and even if when he left the EFF, Floyd should have just embraced being number two at EFF. Sometimes, all of us, we cannot be leaders. We cannot all, be at the very top. Somebody has to be behind. And Floyd Shivambu, looking at him and all the intelligence that he has, he was never built to be that guy at the very top. It's just unfortunate, despite all the intelligence that he has, everything about him, Floyd, the way that he is best as the number two guy, is somebody who is backing the leader, by coming up with the structures, by coming up with all these intelligent thoughts, these speeches, etc. That's the best that he can do. You can even see all this, when you look at his contributions at MK Party. When he came to MK Party, it's actually Floyd Shivambu who came up with this new logo, that is this golden circle. And he actually gave a meaning to the logo of MK Party. So these colors, green, black, and gold, they actually draw inspiration, from historical roots, and political agenda of MK Party. The green color, it represents the land, that must be, be given to everyone, redistributed to everyone. Black, that color black, it signifies an ongoing struggle and commitment to freeing Black South Africans, from oppression. And then the color gold, it reclaims, reclaiming the nation's wealth, the natural resources, etc. So this was the meaning, that Floyd actually brought to the table for the MK Party logo. And you can see his contribution is huge, it's massive. But MK had already gotten 14, something percent without Floyd. The leader, Jacob Zuma, was already there. But going forward, you need that guy, that then brings in a meaning that can carry this momentum forward for centuries, and that guy to bring that momentum is Floyd Shivambu. But then to put him at the very top, that's not his place. But it's certainly for Floyd, it's something he would never be able to realize that he cannot be the number one guy. He can only be the number two guy. He is never going to appreciate that. And that is exactly why, he had to leave the EFF and go somewhere where he thought he was going to be appreciated. But he was already being appreciated at the EFF. And the sad part with life is that you end up realizing, that I was actually loved and appreciated at the EFF. But when you realize that, it will be too late, and it's already too late for Floyd. I'll catch you guys on the next one.